Hello and welcome to
Dragons.
And Unicorns.
And other creative features. I need more coffee, apparently.
Dragons, unicorns. That's Rona.
That's still me, and that's Dr. Kevin, still him. Oh my God, how do we do this?
I don't know. You haven't had enough caffeine. I might have had a little too much. Can you tell the difference? It's a little.
It's hard to tell, actually.
Well, you know, I have
caffeinated, over-caffeinated, recaffeinated.
Well, you know, I have to tell you, true story. Mm-hmm. Years ago, I was at a piano bar. Mm-hmm. I know, hard to imagine. I was at a piano bar, and I was semi-regular there at the time. And I'm sitting there singing at the piano bar, and it was when they did the big thing with people. Saying that now bartenders and waiters could be held responsible if somebody got drunk at a bar.
Oh, okay.
So this is when that first started. Mm-hmm. And so I had gotten there, earlier in the day, you know, like before the shift of wait staff happened. And a new waiter was on and came in, and when he was coming up to me, I started to say that I wanted another drink. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable serving you. You know, like I think you know, like, and I said, excuse me? And he goes, I'm sorry, you know, like, you could tell he was like really nervous that he was shutting me off. Well, my waiter that had been waiting on me up to that point was still there. And so I called him over, and and I knew him, and I was a regular at this bar at the time. And he said to the waiter, he's like, I know probably he's a regular, whatever, but I'm the one that's going to be responsible if I served him the last drink. And the waiter looked at him and said, he's been drinking Diet Coke. And the guy looked at me and said, you haven't had anything to drink? I said, no. He said, you just normally sit on the piano at the piano bar and sing? And I said, yeah. My Diet Cokes for the rest of the night were free. So,
I think you deserve those free Diet Cokes.
I'm the only person I know that ever got shut off and wasn't drinking.
And yet, I'm not surprised somehow. Either by you getting shut off, or sitting on the piano, or sitting on the piano sober. I mean, none of it actually surprises me.
Or singing.
Or singing.
Or singing.
No, that definitely. Come on, you guys. You guys have seen us sing. Or
Yeah.
Seen,
you know.
Heard us sing.
Art
and sing.
Yes.
Heard us sing. Oh my goodness, that's too
I
funny.
think if more people were out there being more comfortable with their creative selves, you know, because you've heard my definition of empowerment before, right?
Probably, but not recently.
Okay, so this is how I define empowerment. You know, empowerment is the power to be uniquely who you are without apology.
Okay, that is straightforward and easy to understand, and I completely agree.
We are trained in this society to apologize whenever we do something that might make somebody else uncomfortable. If I make somebody else uncomfortable, then I have given them the gift of a challenge to expand their reality of why should anything I do
make them
uncomfortable. I mean, obviously, if it was involved with, you know, like directing something at them that was inappropriate. I mean, there are some exceptions, but, you know, for the most part, it's just if somebody, you know, I've been told I'm too happy, I've been told I'm too friendly, I've been told I laugh too loud.
Yep, I've gotten the too loud, too flirty.
Yep. And so I think that, you know, and I invite all of our viewers, you just need to go out and say, this is who I am. If it bothers you, back away. If it makes you uncomfortable, well, maybe you should like person up. Yeah, I've tried to change from man up.
That seems sort of reasonable. And understand why. I mean, you know, sometimes the reason you're meeting somebody who's making you uncomfortable is for that very reason. to learn and to see and to take this moment to possibly change your response now and in the future.
And to take your power back and say, you know what? I don't have to give my power to social mores.
I mean, their whole industry is built, obviously, on us all looking the same or, looking a certain way and being young and beautiful and thin and whatever adjective you want to put with that. There are certain societal norms that business has a vested interest in us not being empowered in the way you defined it.
Well,
and I think there are more and more people redefining it. I mean, you can see, things like Chrissy Metz on the series This Is Us, and Keala Settle, who was in the movie The Greatest Showman, and Kelly Clarkson. Women of great creativity, great self-awareness, and who are not size 0 and 2.
Yes. 0, if you're attached to 0, go get a Coke Zero.
They might shut you off, though.
Yes, well,
If
but
you're
stop
thinking-
doing Coke to become a 0.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not healthy.
No, God. Stay in school, don't do drugs. We now return you to your regularly scheduled
Digital
dragons.
programs. Yes. So talking about living out loud
And empowered.
and empowered, we have a mother-daughter combination
That's the first for us.
who have brought living out loud and empowered to kind of a new place. They've,
like it.
They've kind of combined, now not with words.
Right, empowered differently, yep.
So to speak, not with words, but with their designs and their use of crystals. Today we have Heidi and Holly Miller, mother and daughter. They are strong believers in using crystals for metaphysical benefits, and together have studied their properties for the last 6 years. In October 2017, they decided to start a business called Prism Wheel.
It's a baby business.
A baby business.
It's like, less than a year old.
Well, I'm sure probably they have baby clothing.
They might. I mean,
Baby
actually, it
need
might
to be
good.
empowered. I mean, look at the kind of parents they get stuck with.
Keep going.
Prism Wheel is a metaphysical business that helps to empower and initiate change with others. Both Holly and Heidi have developed the first crystal grid clothing line that includes all USA-made clothing,
Gotta love it.
no tariffs.
Nope. Not here.
Sorry, excuse me. All USA-made clothing and handmade crystal grids to help people manifest their desires. Heidi, who is here, and Holly, who is here. So
Welcome.
we're not going to tell you which is the mother and which is the daughter.
No.
We're just going to
It's like those old commercials for hand cream. Can't tell my mother from the
He's
daughter.
trying to pump me up, empower me.
Is it working?
Okay.
If it's working, great.
It is.
That's all that counts. That's what counts.
So first of all, I want you to tell us a little bit of your journey first, Heidi, because you're coming in with a lot of the artistic side of this initially. And then Holly brings it, now I'm not trying to give you a clue of which is the mother and which is the daughter when I say that. I'm just talking about the journey progress. Heidi, tell us a little bit about your artistic journey, your journey as an artist.
I have always, since I was a little girl, would draw or sit, watch TV, needlepoint. My mother always had us busy. So I learned to sew when I was about 7. And my grandmother taught me up in northern Vermont to make patterns out of newspaper, make Barbie doll clothes.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Is there anything else
Yeah.
to
Not
do
much
in
to
northern
do.
Vermont?
Not much else
I was
to do.
going to say.
Milk
Maybe catch
cows.
fireflies, But so that's where I started
Ski.
sewing. But my mother sewed, my sister. I worked for a company called Anderson Little. Always hung around in the tailor shop. So again, I was always around people sewing. So I left there. I raised my family. Started a tailor shop 15 years ago. Went in with my sister into that business. So I was sewing all the time. 10 years ago, I bought the business outright. And then I started with crystals with Holly. And we started doing Reiki, and we started putting crystals in our pocket, and the crystals kept falling out, and
Oh, God, yeah. And
You
you keep them in
know,
your
'cause-
pocketbook, you're literally carrying around rocks.
you're right. And you always have jewelry on with crystals, and we just wanted we wanted to find a different way to like group them and have more power to them. So we decided to start doing research. But the funny part of it was, back in December 2016, I'd wake up with ideas, and I'd get a phone call, and someone else would wake up with an idea. So
Okay,
then
so
we
that's when you know you're on the
started-
right track.
Right. Then we started looking at different crystals and their meanings and points. What magnifies, what protects. So what would give more bang for its buck? How
I
to
like
group
that.
them.
So now you said in your earliest artistic part of your journey, you started by drawing.
I always, yes,
Do you still draw?
yes.
Okay. I'm just curious. So do you draw these designs before you create them on the clothes?
I actually will play the Eye of Horus, which is Trust the Connection.
Okay.
This one here, I will draw out, place the beads.
So I don't know if we can get the Eye of Horus or not. I don't know if I'm showing the right camera. I was
have
told
some
to hold.
stills.
Well, I was told to hold them up, but
Wait, we're gonna
I
get a
know we
little
have
help
some
to do it.
stills. There we go.
Gonna get that one zoomed in on.
Can I have another Eye of
Sure.
Horus?
Perfect.
There
Yeah,
we go.
there you
There we
go.
go. So I think they'd make a cool set of sunglasses. Are you getting that? Is that the Eye of Horus?
Yep, we got it
awesome.
again. I love it.
There we go. I'm ready for my close-up,
Right?
Mr. DeMille. Not that close.
Yeah, really.
Actually, they'd make good blindfolds, wouldn't they?
Sleep.
Well, sleep mask.
Yeah.
You know, actually, that's not a terrible idea to have crystals close while you're dreaming.
Right?
You can jot that down later. One of them had a, I'm not swiping the idea. One of them had a heart on the back.
Yeah.
Yes. So
And one didn't.
when we finish, this is a finished one because it will have the snaps, our technique, like part of our patent. These have been patented. This
Our crystal grid base.
our base has been patented, so it's to make it interchangeable. So you can take them out to wash them, and you can take them out of your garments.
And put them on something different.
Right. So you can buy many grids and change them out in your clothing.
Now,
That's interesting. I like that.
I know that we did a show.
Yep. it's got
Okay,
it.
there we go. So they have these little snaps. So depending on your energy for the day, the energy that you want for the day, you your clothing has the other side of the snaps, I'm assuming. Duh. And-
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
this.
Yeah, there you go. So here is a hat. The hat has
That one has two.
One at the top, one at the
snaps.
bottom.
This one. So looks like there's 2 snaps on this
Yep.
one.
Smaller grids, yes.
Yeah, for the smaller grids. And now, if I wanted, what is this grid for?
That's for grounding. But that particular one, here's one that has snaps.
Here's
Oh.
one that has snaps. Right?
That's just in the process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great because we have
So
things
that
in
one's
the whole.
trust.
So this is trust. So you put this one on.
And ta-da! Now you can bring that more into your life.
See, now, of course, we actually had this conversation on Web of Light. Now, this doesn't,
Oh,
I got the wrong size for it.
Maybe
Okay,
you
there
can
we go.
Try this.
that's
So-
right. Get the general just
Different sizes.
more trust. I got more trust for you.
Okay, there you go. So there's a smaller
Well,
trust.
actually, that's
That's protection. Yeah.
Protection.
She did
Oh,
say
sorry.
that.
I
Okay.
have protection for you.
So I want to,
Thank you for
no,
that.
that's going to be too big too.
Is it?
That's all right. But
That's
you're
all right.
starting to get the idea.
You're starting to
This
get
is
the
another
idea.
one. That's
That may
the
not
scarf.
have. Yep, that does not have snaps in it yet.
But see, I'm very much about, I'm going to
this
put this
material.
one back on that was on the hat.
I love this material and I love the purples.
I might have screwed, okay.
Because you're surprised.
But see, now I want to ask you a question, because we had this
Yes.
conversation on Web of Light,
Yes.
and they know where I'm going now, but you don't, because you weren't there. Now, see,
I'm clueless.
depending on the thing, I would wear it as a fashion statement on the outside. And they have it set up so that you actually wear it on the inside, so it's against your skin, which I understand.
Right.
That there's,
It's,
you know,
it's your reminder, it's your empowering, your manifesting, your whatever it is that you're.
so you put on the little hat, which I'm not going to do because I'd miss my
It's so
hat.
nice.
So there's a couple different reasons why we put it in the garment.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
So one of the reasons being that we do use silver fabric. So silver fabric helps to protect your intention into your grid. But it also, silver's a conductor, so it magnifies that intention as well. So we like to think of it as like a filter. You filter in what you want, you filter out what you don't want. The second reason is really to, we're developing a ritual with the wearer. So they're gonna snap it in their clothing. It's something just for them, just for the wearer. So by them developing that ritual, they're then starting into the process of initiating change.
Right, you do need to, it's not just a matter of picking up a crystal and putting it on your clothes or in your pocket. You need to have a connection, a reason. I like the idea of the ritual, because that does, I don't know, that helps ingrain things for people, I think.
Well, you know,
It makes it more, tangible is not the word I want. I know, for example, if you do tapping or if you do any of those other things, or if you create affirmations to go with what you want or whatever it is, I am bringing this, into my life for the greatest good of all. To be able to connect with that as you're starting to work with the grids is nice. I really like that.
Thank you.
one of the things is that like every morning, or usually the night before, because my husband doesn't do well in the morning. He's
not a morning person,
Not
no.
a morning person. He's
thing
a good morning person.
I think the wedding was until like 11.
Yeah, well, he's a good morning person around noon. But anyways.
I know those morning people.
Yeah. But like at night, he will actually, I watch him do this, because he has a huge collection of crystals and does stuff with crystals, and he's a Reiki master and he does all this stuff. I mean, we're well suited. But he goes, okay, so what's my day tomorrow? What am I going to do? And he chooses his outfit and his crystals at night that he's going to do the next day based on who he's meeting, what his commitments are, stuff
makes
like
sense,
that.
yeah.
So I get that whole idea of making it a ritual. It also brings the awareness up in your head of this is what I'm working on. And
It also gives your mind the night to prepare and think and clear and deal and all of that.
But I do love the eye mask idea. I actually got an
Yeah.
eye mask right now that I got at a local shop here, Cheryl's shop, Tangled Roots. That's somebody had crushed stuff up and did some things, and it has a little thing in it, and it slides in, and you sleep with it. And I have definitely noticed a difference in sleeping with that, and I would say that the same would be true of any of these crystal grids. If I could get a crystal grid on this eye that goes crazy, and this one that says crazier.
Holly has a friend that she has a story to tell about a client of ours that decided to wear one to bed.
Oh.
And her dog likes to sleep with her. And every time she would move, the dog would go to where the crystal was on her back and sleep on her back.
It was one of
my
these,
goodness.
the grids
Yeah.
that we were using. Yeah.
Also for pets.
Well, there you go. They would, if, with all the things that are true about crystals, the resonance and things like that, and with pets being generally more sensitive to those things overall. I mean, we've all had experience, look at me, the whole world has had this experience, Rona.
The whole world of Rona.
The whole world of Rona.
Rona
It
has
is a
had this-
whole world of, anyway.
Trust me.
Whew, it's a whole world. People ask me about, I'm a writer, people ask me about, well, how do you create characters? I'm like, who has to create them? I am ones. I'm plenty of characters. I don't need to create any more. But many of us who have pets have experiences where we're not feeling well, or we're in a bad mood, or we're sick, and the pet is like right there. They don't move. They're aware of these things. So that's interesting that with the crystals too. It doesn't surprise me, but it's very cool.
Yeah. So Now, you design this, now, do you design the clothing as well, or do you use more like just standard, like that's a standard hat? What
Right,
is this?
we use
This is
an-
a scarf.
This is a scarf,
I
yeah.
love this material. This is so like t-shirty wonderful. Ooh, ooh, ooh! It's like ooh, it's an infinity.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, everybody on the mic again. I seem to
So
be
that's
having
the only
issues.
one we haven't placed our logo on, because it would be very hard to see. Well, you could do it that
You
way
could
too.
show it if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, this would certainly be a way to do it, but I love it. It is full enough that you could
Yeah.
just not let anybody know.
Exactly.
The placement, the
excuse me.
placement of our grids, though.
Do you know what's nice about the scarf? I mean, I know this is probably, I feel really like snuggled into it. So knowing that I don't, what am I wearing? What crystal?
Serenity.
Okay, I can feel something immediately. It's really
Peace.
kind of, this is neat. This is really neat. They're not getting this back. I'm kidding. It's lovely though. Here, I love it. It's great. So yeah, you can make it a statement. Yeah, Lord knows the purple's going to go with 90% of what I own.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of that infinity scarf and the jersey knit, which I happen to love.
Now, would you ever put
one's
snaps
nice
on to
too.
put more than one grid on
Sweatshirts and
or do you think that it would be conflicting?
Well, I think you could wear more than one garment.
People take
could-
more than one crystal in their pocket.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
Well, we already have a grouping.
Right,
you
there's not just
definitely
one
could.
crystal on each.
We have.
Turban. Can we
we
just do
also-
this as a hair wrap turban?
There you go. You're back to your
Put that
glorious-
right over your
Absolutely.
third eye.
Yeah.
to your
Well,
Mr.
that's
DeMille
where
glorious Swanson moments.
our grids are always placed either on the spine
Right.
or on the left leg, which is an intake,
Oh,
or
right.
on your third eye on the hat.
Now, like in my case right now, I'm having some run-ins with a company that's not being very ethical. Now, I would send them one of your spine grids, but they're spineless. So where would you put it when they're spineless? Oh, sorry. Now, you said you just buy standard issue clothing and then kind of alter it?
We do, yep. So we get our stuff from a manufacturer. They'll send it to us. We get the logo put on it. Our logo is actually, my mother designed it, and it is a form of sacred geometry. And the sacred geometry, we like to call it, is really just intaking love and light
Okay.
into the clothing.
You know, we
Can-
can close up on me, but actually, if someone wants to flip through the slides, I apologize to our viewing audience. If we flip through the slides, I think I have it on one of them. Nope, keep going. Nope, keep going. Click. I need a clicker. Somebody. Thank you.
There you go.
Stay and show the viewing audience. There we go. There's their image. There's their logo.
Yes.
Sacred geometry. That's on the back of a shirt.
Okay, now do you put
That's
the
the
clips
inside.
So
right on
your
the other
snaps,
side?
yes, your snaps are on the other side
Okay.
of that logo.
Cool.
When
Cool
we
beans.
first started doing some prototypes, I was finding that I wanted to stitch the felt and the silver fabric onto the garment and then place the beads. But it was taking a lot of time.
You need some snap.
But then I got a better idea.
Yeah.
If I do that, then we have to be careful what type of crystals we put on there because they'd have to go through the wash machine.
Right.
Yep.
And some of our crystals are not water friendly.
No, they're going to be
Well, they're
porous.
too water friendly.
Right. Well, exactly. They're porous.
I mean, for the most part, the ones we're using now are all, if someone was to forget and wash their grid in their garment, it would be okay.
But you couldn't wash
going
it over and over
forward-
again, yeah.
Right.
yeah, ultimately, you're going
I
to.
want to
thin it
be
out
able
and-
to interchange them.
There you go. So there's the sweatshirt.
Right.
And now with the grid inside.
Right. But see, again, we'll go back to the hat. Another reason why I put the hat on the
the
grid.
heart is on the. There.
Yep.
Nope.
On the
No,
other
that one,
eye,
The other
yes.
eye.
Is so that the client or the person knows what's up. So you know your chakras go
Up and down.
up and down.
But-
So with the hat, it just makes it easier because there are certain points.
There's certain ways. So even the other way, one full turn. Yep. Because you
Okay,
want your.
Yeah,
Right. Root chakra at the bottom.
right.
Ta-da.
So
Ooh,
that's
they snap very
why.
easily.
Yes, yeah.
But see, I wanted more grounding in my third eye, and I want.
Right, so
We'll get you some more specifics.
So we will do custom grids.
Okay.
Which
For the
neat.
show, Holly does a lot of times, she'll do Reiki and find out what someone really needs.
That's lovely, because you don't
During-
always know,
Yeah.
You think you need clarity in what you actually need. You've got the clarity, you're just too afraid to
You
Right.
need courage,
So you need
Courage, strength,
strength, yes.
attitude.
yes,
I want an attitude one.
okay.
I want a new attitude crystal grid.
I can't even begin to imagine. I can't, never mind, stop that, Rona.
Yeah. What they're talking about is actually, they're going to be at the Web of Light Expo, April 21st, 22nd, Earth Day weekend at the Courtyard Marriott. And Holly is going to be speaking on crystal grids for beginners. So she's actually going to be talking about that, about some of the crystal grid and what you can do with them and stuff like that. And then you can go and look at their clothes and see their crystal grids and their
Yeah.
different snaps. And now you said that you would. Now, so I'm going to go back for a second because I had a question. So do you ever design clothes at your tailor shop? Because
that's
you said
true.
you
You
did
said you could.
patterns. And
I
stuff like-
don't do any custom clothing right now.
Okay.
I think in the future, I definitely would love to design a few pieces. I could see pieces.
Yeah.
And then I will use a
Could do
different
night shirts.
manufacturer.
if we could do-
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, to combine the crystal work with the dream work. That would
Yes.
be an interesting
Yeah.
Yes.
combination.
Well, I was thinking more along the line that, some of these airy, fairy, flaky spiritual people, which, I can
Relate to in the mirror every day.
say too. Yeah, I know, because I'm just so not grounded, right? Is
No wonder that one's placed in front of him.
Is that grounding?
Yes. He needs
ground me, ground me. Actually, I don't have a problem with grounding. But I could see that there would be some, especially spiritual teachers, healers, that are especially going out on a big stage, or ones that maybe are very gifted in their art, but have problems like, are
Speak.
camera shy or speaking like this, that to go and start with something simple like, can you make me a scarf out of this material that would have this that I could wear, and can I have it in 3 different colors for my outfits that I always want to wear when I'm on stage?
Yes.
So it's like more.
We said this is a baby business.
Yeah.
It's only
I'm
been
just throwing
around
out
since-
ideas.
I know, and I'm sure they're taking mental notes.
I'm snapping the whip. Let's go.
We have so many surprises for you for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Web of Light.
Expo.
Oh, goody.
Yes.
Yay. So see,
But
people, so you speak, you're seeing a lot.
We do a lot of protection in our business, so
Oh.
we have to wait.
That's true.
Well-
I love how many, that they're all in different stages, and you've
They
got
are.
some of the raw materials as well. It starts
Yes.
with,
So we have felt and we have the silver fabric, which is real silver fabric.
Oh my.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
And then,
I love that they can make fabric out of it.
exactly. And Holly can tell you a little bit more about the silver fabric.
Yeah, like I said, the silver fabric is a conductor, but it's also used for protection as well. So that's why we put it inside the clothing, because when it's snapped into the clothing like this, the silver fabric is behind the crystals, so it's conducting the energy, but it's also protecting the crystals from any other energies that may go into the grid.
I like that.
So,
And then there's the lace on a lot of them.
Yep,
as
some
well.
of them we have lace. And then we also have some that have a cotton, a very soft cotton fabric. That's the white.
Right there.
The Eye of Horus has that.
Yep.
And then a lot of times,
They're very
our
good.
clients like just the silver. So
Yeah,
they'll-
you've got quite a
they'll-
few that are just
Right,
that.
so we've been having a lot of requests, either white or lace or just the silver fabric.
Now-
So we are changing.
are you actually making the lace, or are you?
No, I bought the lace.
Oh my God, lace making, that's.
Yeah.
Well, this
It's
is
very
blind.
time consuming.
Because this is crochet. This is crochet
Oh, is
crochet
it?
cotton.
Oh, yeah,
Look
I
at
can see
that.
it.
Yeah, that's crochet cotton.
Cool.
I crochet, but I could never my grandmother used to make
Mine did, too.
beautiful, the doilies and stuff like
Right,
this.
right.
And she'd edge
And so I
handkerchiefs.
recognized that this is, I was like, yeah. So that's why I wondered.
But it is embellished with a lot of the embroidery. So we are having different steps, and it's making them really beautiful, and people do ask. But I also say a lot of times that beauty is not only seen by the human eye, it's felt by the human heart. So this is for the wearer.
Yeah, which is neat. The whole idea of wearing something beautiful and powerful and empowering that you then don't show the world. I mean, we're always so anxious to,
Right.
display it and show it or use it as a covering. Certainly certain fashion and certain fashion choices are there. So notice the shirt and not me, please. This is so.
Yes, you were saying?
He's so subtle. So subtle. And so to make a choice that really is just so for the wearer, no one else even ever has to know.
Right. I mean, if we're working on self-love, there might be a reason why we're working on self-love or grounding or,
Yeah, and you don't have
I
to
need
answer
strength,
questions and.
I mean, not as if anyone would really question, geez, that's beautiful, but,
Obviously, they've
something.
not spent enough time with me. God, look at it, go,
Right.
oh, that's really, so
It's
now
a
is
tool.
there a meaning behind that? Where did that
Yeah.
come from? Where'd you get that? So what is that supposed to, so what's your dysfunction?
See which one vibrates
Yeah,
for you and will not.
we actually want it to be used as a tool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a wellness tool.
Exactly.
And I hear them, we had the same battle on Web of Light, and, I'm
Continue on.
And everybody's, if I were to ever get this, I would just turn it inside out, and so I could show the snap. And because I think that it also radiates an energy out,
It
and
does.
it also makes people,
Well, Wonder Woman doesn't wear her W's inside her outfit. She wears them right outside. And, Batman and Superman, all the superheroes wear them.
yeah. Well,
Right
to me,
there,
this is
so-
like this is a holistic metaphysical superhero badge.
Right, exactly.
See, I've got awareness.
Ta-da!
Showed it to the world.
Mild-mannered Dr. Kevin Ross Emery. Really underneath is self-awareness man.
So what?
God, I sound like a bad episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Or a good one.
Or it could be a good one.
Good
ding,
one.
ding, ding.
So tell us. So now you're doing all of the attaching to the squares, or is this something now that you've created a semi-assembly line for?
I'm starting the assembly line. So you'll see the ones that just have the felt. That's
We have
a
ones that are
model.
sort of unfinished.
These are not for sale. Like, I'll start on just the felt and do a design. But I'm hoping to get a little assembly line going and teach how I'm doing this so I can have some help.
That would be
Okay,
nice.
so do you do any of these, Holly?
A little bit. I mean, I do more of like the social media and the speaking and all
Outreach.
that stuff. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
more
we're
of an
working on
outreach.
our strengths.
And that's good because, as the most wonderful product in the world, if it's not discoverable,
Oh, absolutely.
and
There-
that's a
there-
big part of the reason that we're here,
Yep.
every week. is
There's-
to make artists more discoverable and their work more discoverable and their vision, because this definitely comes from that, more discoverable.
Yes. Well, and there was no criticism in that question at all. I was just curious whether, because again, everybody has strengths, but as somebody who's been in business for 28 years, sometimes you have to do your weaknesses too, because when a business is
Yes.
starting up, and sometimes I have done
gotta
my
do it.
my 1,000 hours of stuffing envelopes back in the day when you did mailings to
Yeah.
promote things. I'll tell you, sometimes it took days to get the taste of the stamp off the back. That was pre self-stick stamps. Heidi remembers those.
I remember that.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any
Absolutely.
events.
So I obviously playing towards your strengths. Now I'm going to ask you a curious question, and then I want to look at some of the pictures we have because
Yes, we have
the
some-
people will do that. I'm going to have you explain what those particular grids were created to do.
Sure.
But the other question I have is, as you bring in people to do this, are you going to be explaining the mindset that they should do when they're doing it?
Holly's awesome with this whole aspect because she does training.
We have,
So I have 2 friends of mine that are helping us, and she's training them.
Yeah,
before
you
they
don't want them to
start.
see this as busy work or, or they need to be, well, they're part of the beginning of the ritual that will eventually be what goes
Right.
into the clothes, so.
One of the things that we'll mention, though, even if I'm having a bad day, all of these are cleansed with selenite. My shop is a cleansing tool. We have
Oh,
Himalayan salt,
that's
selenite,
yeah.
so they all get cleansed before they go out. Absolutely.
Because you want,
And
I mean,
set the intention.
yes, there's going to be energy obviously put into it, but you want it to come as,
Everything's
as-
cleansed, everything's cleared. Absolutely.
really, I have enough issues, I don't want somebody else's, I don't need to bring
Well-
somebody else's home with me.
Right.
And it's interesting because in doing this kind of work, because there are certain things that I will create when especially if I'm doing some of my work as a medical intuitive, I will custom blend essential oils for certain people's issues that they can be wearing them, and I want them to be wearable.
Right.
But whatever. But once I just go in and sit down, already, no matter what mood I was in, I'm in a different mood. And I would suspect the
true.
same, even if you're having a bad day, you sit down and suddenly you look, and that mood would the mood would shift.
This is therapy. When I sit down to do this,
Yep.
it's therapy.
My point
And
exactly.
when I'm creating, a lot of times I'll just sit and create, and I feel like I'm one with them because I'll say to Holly, look what I just created today. What do you think? She said, that's prosperity, Mom.
This is a new one. It's not even
It's
on our
brand
website.
new.
I was wondering if,
And-
I know the greens have a tendency towards prosperity.
Yeah, all of those stones represent good fortune, abundance, prosperity. So I'll sit there and I'll play. I've been working with crystals for communication. You brought up communication. That's a big one for me. Because like I
Sometimes
said
a
to
lot
you,
of people,
the last
clear
time I was on,
communication.
I'm a silent partner. I don't be talking.
Have you noticed her as a silent partner?
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah,
hell getting her
so-
to open up.
right.
But this is, people say, God, it was so easy to be on your show. Well, because we let you spend, 45 minutes talking about what you're passionate about. Gee, isn't that terrible? So it shows. I mean, you may normally be quiet and stuff like that, but I have a friend of mine who clear communication and effective communication is her passion. So yeah, I mean, when you think about all the miscommunication out there and stuff like that, I can see why that's becoming a very big draw and a very big issue. You have something that you're pulled to and torn to. I love the prosperity.
So when is she going to come on the show to talk about the creativity of communication? Just think about that. So can we bring up the good?
You want to do this part?
The bid. Okay, so we're bringing up the first. Okay, so we have 2 grids.
Yep.
Holly, can you see those?
I can.
Cool.
Okay, good, because this is what our audience is seeing right now. So let's start with the one that's got the lace behind it.
Sure. The one on that has the lace is intuition. So this would really help bring someone to intuition out and really just help them connect with their intuition more.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't trust it.
Yeah.
And then the one next to it, which is interesting, that's got purples and greens.
Yes. So this one is wellness. So this one's good. If you just want to maintain your overall wellness, or if you're dealing with an illness, this is something that you probably will be attracted to because it's geared to help with those things.
That one's a little different from, that one has stitching kind of around the crystals themselves, which is excuse me, an interesting look.
Yeah, it definitely pops everything out.
It
too.
does. It does. Now, does the swirl in the center do something? Because I noticed a lot of them have that.
Yes.
Does that bring it sort of in, like spirals in, or?
So that is a copper-plated pewter piece, and
Okay.
so that's really going to be a conductor.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's important.
So does the spiral go in or does it go out?
It goes in because the points go out.
There you go.
Yep, so on every single one of our crystal grids, we do have points in all directions, and that really helps to bring the energy of the crystal grid outward And really, I like to think of it as it's creating this bubble of just like whatever you want to work on.
Okay, can we have the next one, please? Okay, let's start with the one on the left, up the left.
So the one on the
Is
left,
that hematite?
so the black
Yeah.
is snowflake obsidian.
I love snowflake obsidian.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I can
little
see
snow,
it.
yeah.
Yep, I can see it here in the one. Oh, sorry, you were not showing that, but keep showing this one. Keep showing
And
this slide.
then you have citrine, garnet, and again the copper-plated pewter in
Mm-hmm.
the center. And this is a grounding grid. So it really helps someone become more grounded, more centered, balanced.
Well, and in our crazy hectic days when, you start your day in a rush hour and then have to sit at a desk, it's very hard to be in that moment. So that's wonderful.
Yep. And then the other one is strength. So if someone needs a little bit more strength in their life, if they're going through a difficult situation, this one would be a really good choice for them.
See, now I have to tell you, I look at that and the very first thing I thought was that's calling for angelic help.
And
There's
there
something
it is.
angelic about that energy, as if it's communicating on an angelic. I mean, I looked at it and I thought, did they make it look like an angel intentionally? Because that's what I saw.
And if it is, and since it is around strength, I mean, I love the idea that with these, you call things in from without, but you also call up from within, which is an interest, because me with the Wizard of Oz, that the idea that, you've always had the strength and you've always had the power. These, yes, they reach out, but they also, tap into.
We have to do our inner work, all of us.
Yeah, you
Yep.
have strength. You are able to be grounded. You are worthy of abundance and all of these other things.
Now, I notice you've got gold thread, and now is that just to pop it out again?
Yes.
Okay, so you're creating something so that it pops out so it looks good, and then you're not going to show it to anyone. Next slide, please.
He's a little hung up on that. Oh, those are
I know he is.
so cute.
So cute.
That's a very different. That's the one on the left now. A slightly different style, longer crystals and.
So the one on the left is balance. So if you need to create more balance in your life, you're feeling off.
I know those days.
That is
What now?
Okay.
Can't take him anywhere.
So, well, I'm looking at it, and it's on some kind of piece of gray felt or whatever,
Yes.
but the one on balance, the picture looks unbalanced to me because it's got the white up there and the one down there and the little thing.
will
And so I
crop
looked at
that
it and I looked at it and
next
said, it's like a flowing lava flow that's going around rocks or something like that. And she said, and it's balance, and I just found that very funny.
And he's feeling all tipsy.
And what's the other one? They're never going to come back on the show again.
Done it
So
again.
the other one is protection. And with this one, we use citrine and smoky quartz. And it really just helps someone feel energetically protected.
It's the one that has yes, there's circles in all of this one, but that one has a very specific, complete circle, which, to me, that brings out that idea. Very.
But those crystals all look like they point inward to me.
Those do point
Yes.
Inward.
For protection, yeah.
But you
that's-
have your points that are going outward.
on the edges, right?
On the edges, and they're just
So
not
you
showing up well on the
protect,
picture
yeah,
because
you
they're
want to
clear.
protect the inner,
Yep.
your
Okay.
inner self.
And that's good, we're back to communication. When you're going to be around people who have a tendency to zap your energy or
Think
your
family.
strength.
Go ahead.
I didn't say it, he did. But yes, you
Absolutely.
do. When somebody first says protection, I'm like, well, what the heck would I need protection from, But there are places and situations and people who you really wish you could just, back to that bubble idea, you really wish you could just stay you and the best of you in the midst of whatever noise is around,
Can I have the next slide? Do we have another slide?
probably. There were some beautiful pictures and I liked them. Oh, that's
we
that one.
had that one, so let's move past. Her back is lovely. Let's keep going.
Oh, is that the last one? If it's not
Is that-
moving,
is
it could
that
be
the last
could
slide?
be it. Because then we've shown a lot here. Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
you. One of these days, we'll actually keep track of the number of slides we have,
Probably
but it would
should
be
start
so
doing
less
that.
amusing.
Aren't we amusing? Please let us be amusing.
Please let us be amusing. Where would each of you like to take the next step on your creative journey. We're going to step away from this for a second.
Not the
Okay.
business.
Now, Prism Wheel and Holly and Heidi Miller are going to be at Earth Day weekend, April 21st, 22nd, Courtyard Marriott, Web of Light Expo. Holly is going to be speaking on Crystal Grid for Beginners, I think on Sunday, but I can't remember. I know we've promoted it out. But so you can come and hear her speak. You can come look at their lovely designs. This is fabulous. Where is each of your next step as an artist?
I'd love to create a few pieces of clothing.
See, I knew that.
I would.
Yes!
Absolutely.
My psychic
have-
still works.
I have a lot of
Pieces.
surprises for the
Okay.
Web of Light Expo.
And
Okay.
that's good. That's
I do.
creatively too. That's exciting to
It
hear.
is.
From the first time I sat with you on the first Web of Light show, I just keep on getting you doing a line of clothing. This is great, and this may be part of it in the snaps, but I just keep seeing you like line of clothing.
Holly and I have also been looking at ways to recycle things. So before we really started with the clothing, we were looking at other pieces, which are very
Interesting.
large. So that's something we are trying to protect before we bring out.
And
Yeah.
Holly, what about you? Where do you see yourself going creatively?
So, I see myself doing crystal wheel consultations. So, what that means is I will chat with the person, see what grids they're attracted to, and then I will do a mini Reiki session with them. Sorry, guys. And really get an idea for what they want intuitively, and then tell them, that based on, what I
Feel and
feel
sense.
Yep.
and sense, this is what I think you should wear. And I've done it before.
Okay.
Yep.
But doing more of that, I can see that, and then pulling the crystals you need together and saying, this will be in the mail to you. And
Exactly.
There you go. We are out of time. This always goes so fast.
it does every time.
So there is a reason why creativity and spirituality end up hanging out in the same chakra, because they kind of like each other. In fact, they spend a lot of time in bed together. Namaste.